Much has been said about how a scenario where zombies could exist in reality might be generated, and one possibility is that it could be caused by an infectious agent, making the spread more natural and destructive. I have already made a video about 9 diseases that could simulate this scenario, which includes many infectious diseases, but one that stands out is Cordyceps unilateralis. The reason this disease is noteworthy is simple. It is one of the few mentioned diseases that causes true mental control and strips the infected of their autonomy. However, this disease only affects arthropods, with ants being the most common hosts. This cordyceps is an ascomycete fungus that can be found in the tropical forests of Thailand, as well as in the rainforests of Brazil. This is very important because this fungus requires specific climatic conditions for its life cycle, such as a temperature of 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, and a humidity level of 94 to 95%, which is very high. Although it is not the only cordyceps that affects arthropods in a similar way, unilateralis is the most popular and widespread. Additionally, its symptoms involve a significant change in the host, making it more striking and terrifying. As it has been made clear, this infection is caused by an ascomycete fungus, which is characterized by both asexual and sexual reproduction, depending on conditions, and produces spores. These spores are crucial for its dissemination, as they are immobile living organisms that rely on air to reach their hosts. In the case of this parasitic fungus, it primarily targets Leonardi campanotus ants, a carpenter ant species that inhabits the forests of Thailand. Although this cordyceps affects other species closely related to Leonardi, it does so with less reproductive success. The fungus's spores attach to the exoskeleton, where they begin to break it down through physical pressure and enzymes, penetrating the interior to produce a compound that affects the hemocoel, a cavity in arthropods that functions as part of the circulatory system, directly bathing the organs. The brain, being a highly irrigated organ, is one of the primary targets of these compounds. Thus, the fungus begins to take control of its host, presenting symptoms such as convulsions, erratic walking without a specific purpose, and atrophy of the mouth parts, which prevents them from eating. Although I doubt they need to eat, as their fate is about to reach its end, this atrophy serves a purpose. The ant will begin its erratic walk until it locates a leaf at a considerable height of about 10 inches, 25 centimeters, where it will clamp onto the leaf with its mandibles and remain fixed in place. During this entire time, the fungus will feed on its host to begin its development and the next stage, reproduction. The cordyceps causes the death of the ant, while its corpse remains locked in place. The fungus will begin to grow, showing its hyphae invading the body and mycelia sprouting from the exoskeleton, anchoring itself to it. Meanwhile, the fungus will produce antimicrobial compounds to prevent the decomposition of the corpse. When the parasite is ready for reproduction, it will begin to form the characteristic fruiting bodies of the fungus, with the ant's body practically destroyed. It will then release spores, a process that takes 4 to 10 days, which the air will disperse to infect other ants and continue the cycle. The fungus dies after this process in such a dramatic way that it would be a very serious disease if it affected humans. However, it does not affect other animals, as this fungus is very strict in its conditions. Due to the significant changes in the ant's behavior, it is popularly called the zombie ant. This fungus is capable of killing 20 to 30 ants per square meter, although it is not a very effective form of annihilation. Those that come into contact with these spores have their fate sealed. The pathogenic fungus must meet several conditions to complete its life cycle. First, it must securely attach to the exoskeleton of the arthropod and penetrate it, avoiding or suppressing the host defenses. Then, it controls the host behavior before killing it, and, finally, must protect the carcass from microbial attack. This means the fungus must control and care for its host for its life cycle, something many parasites do not do. Although ants have developed a way to avoid this infection, they can detect when a colony member is infected. Healthy ants will carry the sick individual far from the colony to die, to avoid exposure to the fungal spores. Additionally, they groom each other to combat microscopic organisms that could harm the colony. This behavior is quite interesting, as it shows that ants have protocols to avoid infections. An interesting fact is that this fungus can be used for various purposes. Its compounds are being studied to determine their immunomodulatory, anti-tumor, hypoglycemic, hypocholesterolemic properties, and even their potential in fighting malaria. Although a conspiracy theorist might use this information for their theories, these compounds do not affect the human brain. The red pigments of the fungus have also been researched for use as dyes in food processing, cosmetics, and pharmaceutical manufacturing. However, one thing to consider is that this disease could potentially drive the species of ants it affects to extinction, altering biodiversity. To prevent this, work is being done on a fungicide that reduces sporangia production to just 6 to 7%, limiting the damage that Cordyceps unilateralis inflicts on ant colonies. Although its behavior shows that the colony is not in as much danger as one might think. This is one of the diseases closest to demonstrating a zombie scenario, allowing us to observe how it affects only ants and some other arthropods. However, if it were to affect humans, we would all end up on a building, biting the ground while awaiting our death. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and share it so more people can discover this channel. If you're new, I invite you to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you later.